Hi, today we'll do an example on radio buttons. So I've created a main class, and I'll change this the style pane to another class. So I'll refactor it. So refactor or rename it. So I'll just call it quote. .java. I'll refactor it. So now we have main and quote. So we'll start in the quote class. So we'll import. We'll do the import statements first. So, so today I have some music playing in the back. So, hopefully you can still hear me. So it's we'll just import JavaFX .event .ActionEvent. Then we'll import JavaFX .geometry .pos, capital P. Import JavaFX .scene .control .RadioButton. Then we'll import JavaFX .scene .control .toggle group. You need that for RadioButton to set the radio buttons to mutually exclusive options to work together. Then we'll import JavaFX .scene .layout .hbox, horizontal box, the layout pane, to put the nodes inside, and then we'll import JavaFX .scene .layout .StackPane. Then import JavaFX .scene .layout .VBox. So vertical box, another layout pane, and stack pane's another layout pane. So they're all containers: hbox, stack pane, and VBox. Then we'll import JavaFX .scene .text, and then one more. Import JavaFX .scene .text .font. So again, you didn't have to do that. You could have just hit Alt Shift and Enter if you're using IntelliJ after you've written the class that you want to use, or the object. So we'll create the class, so public class quote, and then we'll extend hbox. So through inheritance, now quote is now an hbox too. So we'll demonstrate the use of radio buttons. So we can just say that here, or we can just say radio button control example. So here we can just say philosophy equals I am coding and cool. Just like whatever you want. And after that we'll put we can put like we can say oh, what do you call it? Sorry. Carpentry. Then equals. Then we'll just say measure what do you call it? Measure 3 cut 1. Or sorry, measure 3 times cut once. Then we'll just say comedy equals. We'll just say what's that guy's name? Martin Lawrence is funny. So then now we'll just set, so we have philosophy, so we have a text quote. No, we didn't set that up yet, so we'll set up the private text. So we'll create a text, just a plain text object to display text. We'll just call it quote. And we'll create a private string. Philosophy, carpentry, and comedy. Sorry, it's fixing the microphone. So then after that we'll do public void start. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do the constructor instead. So public quote, no parameters, square bracket. Then we'll just put one under here. I don't want it like that. So here we'll just put no start method, because using 2 classes, and main will have start method and launch method. So that's our so we have philosophy, carpentry, and comedy. We can just call them string. Philosophy string, carpentry string, and comedy string. And then philosophy, we'll just change these here. String, string. What happened here? So carpen, spelling mistake. And we'll add string here. And then we'll fix that spelling mistake. Should be okay. So private string, then we got 3 strings. Then we'll create a radio button, so private radio button. Then we'll just say fill. We could just call these something else, but we'll just, like we could say button 1, button 2, and button 3. But we'll just say philosophy button. then carpentry button, and then comedy button, semicolon. Then we'll say quote equals new text. Philosophy quote. So quote equals new text. Philosophy philosophy quote, philosophy string. Philosophy string, why am I still getting stuff there? Alright, so sometimes you may get errors in IntelliJ, but it'll still run. It doesn't like what you did. Sorry, one sec. So after that, so we did quote equals new text, philosophy string, and then we'll say quote dot set font to new font, Helvetica, the font. Then we'll do size, do like size 30. Then we'll say StackPane. Do we already have? StackPane, just call it StackPane, lowercase. StackPane equals new StackPane. And we'll put a quote inside. Could have just called that string, but that's okay. Actually, why don't we change this to string? So text. Where it is not highlighting everything. Why isn't it highlighting that one? Yeah, so we'll just change it to string. And then we'll change that to, wait, can we say that? No, we cannot actually. Lowercase maybe. We could say str. 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 And then we'll pass in str, so it's more like computer oriented, computer science. So string, button, str, StackPane. Okay, StackPane, yeah, that's good. Whoops, so now I'm actually going to move something here. So after that, we'll say, so we set the StackPane, and then we'll now set StackPane, pane, so we'll say StackPane, oh whoops, down here, so StackPane dot set pref size to say 310 by 110. Then we'll create a toggle group, call it group equals new toggle group. So you need that for radio buttons. Then here we'll say philosophy button. Yeah, so I'll just write it. Actually, no, I don't want to write all that out. It's annoying to write. So philosophy button equals new radio button. And then we'll just call it philo. To spell that, philosophy. So after that, we'll call that again. We'll call philosophy button dot set selected. Then we'll pass in true here. So it'll be set selected, the true initially. Then we'll call philosophy button again. We'll set it to the toggle group, so set toggle group to group. And then we'll call our button again. Call the set on action method. We'll say this process radio button. We can just say event, but that's getting long, so we'll just say process radio button. We haven't created that method yet, but the event handler, but we'll create it in like 5 minutes. So after that, we'll do the next button. So carpentry button equals new radio button. And then we'll just put the string in here. That's going to label the button. Then we'll call our button again. We'll set toggle group. We'll pass in group. Call our button again. Dot set on action. This shift semicolon 2 times, and then process radio button, and then semicolon at the end. Then we'll do the last button, comedy button equals new radio button. We'll pass in a string here to label it, comedy. Then we'll just say comedy button dot set toggle group. We'll pass in group. Then we'll say comedy button dot set on action. This shift semicolon twice, and then process radio button. Save that. Whoops. Why did it print that twice? Save it. And then we'll create a VBox. VBox. Let's call it VBox. Equals new VBox. Then we'll pass in the buttons. So all 3 buttons in our VBox. So it's going to lay them out vertically, not horizontally. So I think the first one, philosophy, will be at the top, and then the rest will be below that, and then below that, in that order. And then we'll just say VBox dot set alignment. So we'll set the alignment of the VBox. Then we'll say POS dot center. Dot center left, actually. Then VBox dot set spacing. So So the spacing between the nodes, we'll set them to 11 spacing pixels. So VBox.set spacing, and then we'll set spacing of set spacing to 19. Whoops. What is this one referencing? Yeah, so it's referencing the HBox. So we'll get children.addAll. Then we'll pass in the VBox and the StackPane. Then we'll just do our event handler at the bottom. So public void process RadioButton. It's going to take an ActionEvent event as a parameter. You can call it E if you want as well. So we'll just say if velocity_button.is selected. What would happen there? Am I missing a parentheses? Yeah. So if velocity_button.is selected, so str.set text to philosophy string, and do the same for all of them. So if carpentry_button.is selected, str.set text to carpentry string. Then if comedy button, I'll just type that one out. Comedy button dot is selected, str.set text to comedy string, I think. Oh, whoops, not if. So if, then else if, and then lastly it'll be else, because it's the last option that we want. So is that right? So that you don't need that because there's only one option. So we'll just comment that out. So there's only 3 options, right? Yeah, so there's can only be one of 3 buttons, I guess. So save that. Go to the main class. Which one is this? The RadioButtons one. So then we'll import some stuff again. Just a few things. 4 things. Excuse me. Import JavaFX .application. Import JavaFX .geometry.pos. Import JavaFX.scene. Import JavaFX.stage. .stage. So public class main extends application So public void start, pass in stage, primary stage. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, I am missing, so no semicolon, square bracket. Put the square bracket below this. And then move this up. No, I don't want it like that. And then put some more square brackets there. So we'll just say quote root equals new quote. We call it quote? Yeah, I think we did. Quote equals new quote. Quote root equals new quote. Then we'll say root dot set alignment to POS dot center. Then root dot set style. We'll take the formatter string, so -fx dot background dash color dot -fx dash background dash color shift semicolon. We'll just say what is this again? Yeah, we'll just do blue. Then we'll create the scene. So scene equals new scene. We'll pass in the root node, and then we'll choose the size of the window. So we'll just say like 550 by 175 pixels. Then we'll say primary stage dot set title. We'll just say radio buttons, and then we'll just primary stage dot set scene, pass in scene, or whatever you call scene, and then we'll set primary stage dot show. Then we'll just run it. Probably a mistake somewhere. $39. Oh, 3 T's on there. Oh, we didn't do the launch method, so don't forget to do the launch method. So do the command line public static void main string array args, then pass in launch and then parentheses args. Save that. Because if you're working from the command line, it's not going to run. In some IDEs also it might not run. So it worked. So you should see a window on your screen. You won't see mine because I'm using a game recorder, so I don't have a screen recorder right now. I'll try to look for one in the future videos. I tried one, but it wasn't good. It had like its logo at the top. You couldn't even see the screen. So you'll see a window. It'll have 3 radio buttons on it, going from up to down. And then when you click on the radio button, the text changes. And then you can resize the window. You can minimize, maximize, and you can close it. And it'll say the title with your operating system kind of logo there. So mine's a Windows, so it has like a Windows 10 kind of layout. I think it's dependent on your operating system. But yeah, so it's blue. We could have did it like cyan or gray, kind of like the Windows color windows. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks.